Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Miss Antesha, for Raising a Woman podcast. And we are locked into season two. Season two. What it do? We did a cute little season one, a little in and out. We were learning, we were growing. No judgment, judgment free zone. But we are back in the new year. So happy new year to you. Oh, let me go back. Let me go over everything. Let's see what all we missed. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Happy Black History Month. And of course, Valentine's Day just passed. Happy Valentine's Day. What else did I miss? I think I covered it all. No, I am excited to be back in front of you. Again, this year it's been a long year already. It's just starting out. We're gonna dive into that, what this new year is looking like, and we're gonna talk a little bit about last year. A little reflection on that as well as we gear up for whatever else 2026 has for us. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. Here we are, uh, middle of February 2026, and it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year. I hate to say it because you always want the new year to come in and to be, wonderful and great, but life be lifing. And, you know, I debated on when to come back, when to start this season. I had anticipated on doing it last month, and the world kind of just felt like so out of whack, right? I'm here in Minnesota. Uh, it's been a lot going on in the state, to say the least. And it has been scary, I would say, even for me. It was a moment of like 2, 3 weeks where I honestly was afraid to go outside because I'm like, I don't know who's going to snatch me up thinking I'm this, that, or the other. I'm an American citizen. Um, but clearly it didn't really matter. Right. And so I wasn't even leaving unless I really had to. I mean, I was waiting till the groceries were down before I was like, let me go get some food. And that's just no way to live, unfortunately. It was depressing to see just all of this chaos happening in my state. And it was heartbreaking. But it also just had me reflecting on so many things and just thinking about so many things in general because I mean, I didn't know we was rolling back freedom. like, like I didn't get that memo. That email went straight to the spam box or something. Cause it really feels like, you know, they're trying to roll back freedom like Walmart prices. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is 2026 and we're supposed to be above and beyond this. Now, as an African American, I know that things are not equal and are not always as they seem. And that as African American, as a Black person, you still have um, you still have all these battles, both hidden and seen, that you have to navigate, that you have to work through and overcome. But this is so different. This is like such, we don't care. We're out in the open. We're full on attacking. So it got to me a little bit. Not a little bit, it got to me a lot. And I just had to take that time and I had to decompress and just feel good again, about just everything, about life, about being out and about, um, feeling good enough to come back to you with the podcast. But you know what? You can't let negative energy, negative light, you can't let evil hold you down and hold you back. So here I am, Raising a Woman podcast. We're back at it. And listen, I don't know what else 2026 got in mind, but girl, okay, you need to have a seat. You need to seriously have a seat because you showing you You showing yourself. You showing yourself real bad right now. You out here acting a fool. Okay, 2026, you need to sit your funky tail self down somewhere. Girl, you need to have a seat. That's why don't nobody want to bring you nowhere. You not following no rules, no regulations. You ain't giving nobody no time for their own foolishness. Can we first fall off of the New Year's workout and dieting? Can the people stop attending the gym first before before you come in with your shenanigans? Girl, listen, it's structure to this. Okay, it's always going to be New Year, new me. Hit the gym. That's right off the top. You gotta get your outfits together. You gotta get your gym membership. Okay, okay, we gotta get them few weeks in. Black History Month comes, listen, my people fought a long time and fought hard. Now it's time to rest. No, seriously, seriously. 2026, you are acting a fool. Girl, you came in too hot. You came in too hot. I'm talking steam off your scalp. Girl, your braids is unraveling under your wig. Girl, sit down. Sit down and let us breathe, please. Oh my goodness. No, listen, it is hard out here. I was talking to some people in recent weeks about where I feel I'm at right now. I feel like I'm in a holding season. You know what I mean? Like God has me in this waiting period. And I'm just kind of like stuck because it's that period of time where you know that blessings and so many things are on the horizon. Like I truly feel that and believe it. But I'm in this holding period. And so going back a little bit, even to last year is when it started in 2025. I would say for me, 2025 was a losing season for me. It definitely was a losing season for me, but I I seen it coming. It was expected. It wasn't like the rug was pulled out from underneath me or anything like that. I knew when I had to resign from my job at that time, a very well paying job, highest paying job I had at that point, that I was going to take a hit. And which is why I tried to hold on to it for as long as I did. But I just couldn't. My body couldn't deal with the physical nature of it. Um, After the car accident I had, for those of you who don't know, I was in a car accident and I had a neck and back injury a few years ago. Well, a little bit over a few years ago. And I just never fully healed. My job at that time was so physical. I just couldn't heal. And year after year, I would just try and just get myself through it, force myself, and I couldn't keep up with it. Missing work, it just wasn't helping. But more importantly, it was bad for my health. And I had reached a point where it was like, look, you cannot do this job anymore. You are ruining your body, your health, your mental state is unraveling, and you cannot continue to go on this way. You have to let this go. And that was so hard, but I knew that it was what I really needed. And so I knew by doing that was going to change my finances in a major way, in a major way. And I was going to struggle. I was going to be on the decline financially, but I had to do it. I had reached the end of that road. I basically hit the dead end on that. And so I knew that I needed to let it go. And I knew that I was taking a major loss by doing that, but I also knew that it was needed and that I was in a lose to win type of state. It's like that, y'all remember that Fantasia song, Lose to Win? Sometimes you have to lose to win again. Don't let me don't have me singing, child. Mm-mm. Ain't warmed up nothing. Even if I did warm up, let's be clear. I'm not I'm not dropping no albums. But it was it was like that. It reminded me of that Fantasia song, which I always loved because it felt so real and so personal to me, you know? And so last year in that season, I was like, I'm in my lose to win season. You know, I have to lose some things. I have to let go of these things in order to open myself up for the next chapter, for a new round of blessings. And so I knew it was a part of my journey. But even knowing that it's a part of my journey, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean um, that I still don't feel down. And it definitely doesn't mean that, the struggle is any easier. But I'm in that transitional period. I had to downsize. I had to let my car go. That was a big thing. But the reality is that I had to do that. You know, trying to keep up with something that can no longer afford, it's not worth it. It just puts you more, in the negative financially. And so, yeah, last year was my losing season. And I feel like this year I'm in my holding I'm in a holding season right now, like a holding pattern, I guess. And I'm waiting for, the next move, so to speak. I don't know what God has in store for me or has planned for me, but I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that it's big and I know that it's going to be worth the wait. And so because of that, it helps me stay focused and stay on the path. And I get derailed, here and there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like I'm always happy and upbeat and positive. Although that's my general nature, but that's not I'm human and I'm not going to be that way all the time. But I still hold on to hope. I still have faith in God and faith in what's awaiting me, what God has planned for me. And so I'm super excited about that. But it's a hard time period. Right now, um, by the time this episode airs, um I will be at a new job. And I'm so excited about it because it is a job that works better for me physically. It's not as physically demanding. I'll be, full benefits, the whole nine. Your girl is happy about that because I was in between gigs for a little bit. Um, but the reality is that pay difference. It's so huge. It's so huge. Like I can't even front about that. And so although it's like you have the blessing, right? I got a job and not just any job, like, oh, I just got a job. No, I wanted this job. Like this was a company I wanted to work for and, was interested in. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I want this. And so I got the main job um that I actually wanted. One of the main ones that I actually, was applying to and wanted. And so that blessing has come through. But then on the other end, I'm still, I'm behind financially. I'm still, school. My previous employer was paying for school once I left that job. Of course, they're not continuing to pay that tuition. And so now I'm in a hard spot with that where my student loans aren't fully they didn't fully cover the semester. And so I have a balance on that. Um, I had to break that down even, and I started a GoFundMe. So, um, if you can, I could appreciate, I appreciate the help with that. I have never done a GoFundMe for myself, so I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of like, I don't know, it just feels uncomfortable because I'm just like, so many people need help. And I said this on a past episode, I minimalize, the things that I go through as if they're not big or they're not important or not worth being discussed. And so this was also a moment with me starting this GoFundMe. It's like, girl, you need help. And I had heard someone, I had heard somewhere, someone say, asking for help is one of the strongest things you can do. And so I'm like, well, I guess it's time for me to be strong to do a little GoFundMe. So I got a GoFundMe. I'm trying to raise $4,500, which that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a lot to me. I don't I don't know I don't know what anybody else is thinking. It's a lot to me, but it's gonna help me pay off my tuition. This current semester I'm in and leading into the next semester. And then it's gonna help me a little bit too with, my finances. I'm in this complete transition. Just getting back um to a nice steady gig. I was doing some work before, but it wasn't steady. Then that had ended. And with this huge pay cut, oh yeah, my my life, uh, yeah, there's definitely some adjusting. So my GoFundMe um, page is up. It's been up for a little while. I haven't got any traction. Um, I'm posting it on my social media, so you can get to it by going to um, Raising a Woman podcast on Instagram, or you can get to it by going to my Instagram, Miss Antesha on Instagram. And the link is in my bio. I also have the post pinned. Um, and if you click on the link, if you go to the GoFundMe, it'll give, my full, the story in the background and why I need this help. And I would just appreciate it, you guys. I know it's hard for everybody. I'm in like my last year of school. So I went back to school because I'm trying to get generational wealth going. And I want to put myself in a position of being better educated. Having that degree does open up a lot of opportunities for you. It is a barrier that I've experienced throughout my working career for both promotions and definitely in regards to pay. And so that's one of the main things that, I would stress to people. Like, yes, you can get promoted and you can move up without having a degree. Yeah, you can start from the bottom and work your way up. Absolutely. But where it really makes a difference is with the pay, because that's where they're really going to show you what's what. Oh, you can get that promotion or that position, but are you going to get top pay? No, you're not going to get the pay that someone with a degree has, more than likely. And so this is my way of trying to secure myself. And after that car accident and when I seen how I was struggling throughout work, I was trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? And so my answer to that was I need to go back to school and I need to get this degree. I need to open up the field for myself more. Instead of just being in these physical labor type of jobs, I need to expand myself, but give myself that backup with the degree. Like, I have years and years of experience in um, warehouse and atmospheres, customer service, retail. Um, I've even actually been in management back in the earlier parts of my career. So I have touched on like a bunch of different areas. And this degree is going to help reinforce my work experience. Um, and that's important. That's important because I'm in a transitional point in general where with that car accident, I can't work the way that I was physically. And so this degree is going to help me be able to get into new areas, to help me get the promotions, to help me get out of such physical labor. But more importantly, it's to help me grow and to start on the path of generational wealth. I want to open myself up to all the the possibilities. All the things. I don't want to limit myself by just not having a degree. So that's why, I've gone back to school. If I can stay in school, like if they don't and they don't boot your girl out over this tuition, okay, GoFundMe, please, please go to the link. Click it in the bio, Miss Antesha on Instagram. It's in my bio. I'll probably if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put um I'll put it down in the description. Um but yeah, this is if I stay in school, I will be graduating next year, 2027. And that is huge. I have, if you're watching me on video, I have first gen proud uh, sweatshirt on. And so, I will be the first one in my immediate family to have a college degree. And so that's big. I feel like that's big, for the family, for me. I have seen other family members in my family either go back and get their degrees or who have gotten their degree after right after high school. And I'm always so proud when I see them. And I'm just like, you know what? I want to be a part of that crew. This is my family and they're getting degrees. These my cousins, nieces. It's like let me do this. So yeah, I definitely got some motivation from watching my family and seeing their accomplishments. So what about you? Like what are some things that you want to accomplish? What are some things that you might feel, afraid of doing? Maybe it is going back to school. Maybe you were like me and you felt like that just can't happen. It's not going to it's not gonna work out for me. Like I can't do that, or maybe there's some other dream that you have. 2026, although it has started off rough, I don't want us to give up on it. Like don't give up on 2026. It started off rough for a lot of people, maybe not everybody. And if that's so, then that's wonderful. I'm so happy that the year has been great for you. I know for me and some others it hasn't been. It's been a struggle. But what do you want 2026 to look like? I know I want 2026 to really set me up for the next level. The next level. Because as I said earlier, I'm in like a holding season. And so I don't know if that holding season is for the whole year. Oh God, please don't. Please don't have me in this holding season for this whole year. Please, please. But what I do know is that this is definitely a important year. This is where some things are going to happen and some real growth is going to come from it. And so I'm excited for the rest of the year. I'm down financially. We already know that. I already established that. I'm down bad financially. And when you're down financially, it's so easy to just like your whole life is just out of whack, right? Because although money, I don't feel that money really necessarily can give you happiness, but it does help with it. Like when you hear people say who have money and they're still unhappy, and you're like, well, how? If I had your money, I would be so happy. It's some truth to that. I think you do have to work on your own personal growth and healing. Um, because even when you get the money, you're gonna be sad. You're gonna feel lonely. You're gonna, you know, feel all of the things that you feel. So you still need to work on yourself. And money is not gonna do that for you. However, a lot of what people's issues are end up being financial. And so having money does take that weight, that burden off your shoulders, you know, gets it off of your back. And that allows you that just like that exhale, being able to breathe. Because when you're going through financial struggles, you you not breathing. you you taking probably some real shallow breaths, if I'm being honest with you. Um and you're so uptight, you're so wound up. Your shoulders is probably up in your neck all the time. You're hurting and not sleeping well and all of those things. So money can definitely help you. But ultimately, you still have to find your true, real happiness within yourself. And you have to work on your healing and your trauma and all of that to get to the real joy. Because if you don't work on that, even when you get the money, and the money might take over from the beginning where it's overshadowing the part of you that's still not healed, but it's not gonna stay that way. That pain's gonna always creep back up. It's always gonna seep through. So this year, 2026, definitely continue working on yourself, your mental health. How do you feel? How are you living? How is life treating you? Um, what are some things that you can do to improve the situation right now? Or who are some people that maybe you can reach out to for help? And you may not, like myself, like doing that, but help is definitely out there. I see all the time on social media how communities come together with fundraisers, helping people, other GoFundMe's. I've, you know, donated to, you know, different causes that I've seen on social media that come across from time to time. And so as a community, like we do come through for each other, and we do help. So don't feel embarrassed by it. I think a part of the growth and a part of healing is being able to accept um, help from others, being able to allow yourself to be vulnerable in that way, uh, to where you speak that out loud that this is what you need. So make sure that, you ask for help when you need it. If you need it, don't be shy and don't be embarrassed about it. I've been there, I'm there currently, and I'm asking for help. We all need help at some point. It's one of those things that if it's not something you do, you're not used to it. And it's a strange kind of like outer body experience almost, but it's important that you recognize when you need it and to speak it out loud because you never know. You never know where a blessing can come from. You never know who can help you. And if you do not speak that out loud, no one is going to know, right? No one can read your mind. So don't feel bad about needing help or asking for help. That's a part of the journey. It's a part of life. And yeah, just keep pushing. We're at the start of this year. Like I said, 2026 already, she came in too hot. She came in too hot, too hot. Uh, hopefully she simmer on down. We still got a lot of the year left. And there's no reason to give up on it now. Don't we what, halfway through February? Don't give up on the year. We still got a ways to go. I'm gonna speak it out I'm gonna put it into existence. We got plenty of blessings coming. Girl, you got so many blessings coming your way. You got so many blessings coming your way. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Because what is for you, can't nobody take. It's not going to be erased. You're not going to miss it. It is going to be just right for your timeline. And right now, it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem that way because we need that motion now. we need, like, come on, this money, this finances, everything, we need it now. But it is coming. I truly believe that. And I'm going to get excited for you right now. I'm going to get excited for me right now. We're just going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep showing up and we're going to keep going because that's not all we can do, but that's a big part of what we need to do is to just keep showing up and keep going. And of course, still having that faith, still keep God on your side always. And just know that your time and your day is coming. It's coming. The abundance of beauty, the abundance of blessings. And so feel that in your heart. You have to really feel that for yourself. You know, I truly feel that way for me. It's still frustrating because I'm like, when? Win. But I do truly feel the best has yet to come, that my abundance of blessings are straight ahead. And so I'm going to keep walking it. I'm going to keep walking the path. I'm going to keep going in that direction. So listen, y'all have a good week. It is Monday. It's the start of the week. Tune in next week. I'll update y'all on the new job. Hey, how I'm picking up on that. On the work, because you get into the new work environments and then you gotta learn, of course, the actual job. It's different from the last job. You gotta get to know the co-workers. You gotta establish your new crew, things like that. So I'll keep y'all up to date on that on next week's episode. But until then, I want y'all to have a blessed week. I want you to know that it's going to get better. There's good and there's bad. It's the balance of life, and you have to believe that your balance is coming. That you're gonna get what you've been waiting for. And don't give up. Okay? So y'all listen, I'm your host, Miss Antesha. You already know you're locked into Raising a Woman Podcast. We're back. 2026, season 2. I'm excited. So y'all have a blessed week. And as always, from pain to purpose, let's talk about it. Hey. Bye, y'all.